So I went for a ride in a Porsche Cayenne diesel 3.0 V6 engine, because my other car is at service at the service shop in Porsche Cayenne. So this here is how it's going through Denmark here. I was up here yesterday and visiting my parents, and what's special about this car here is that it has actually a good amount of space in it, and it also drives very good and stays very fine on the road. So I wasn't planning on going to my parents, but I had some meetings here yesterday in Denmark, and therefore I thought to myself that let's go and visit my parents afterwards. And then my dad told me that maybe I should put some things in the trunk, and as you can see, there are some things in the trunk here, and that's actually all my wheels for my Audi S8 that I presented some time ago. And the plan was actually to go here to Denmark and change the winter tires back into these summer tires that I now got with me. But yeah, as always, plans change, and I loaded up this truck with my Audi wheels, and then I hope to get them changed in Flensburg at some time here before the summer is over. So that's the plan with those wheels. So if I look at some of the options in this Porsche, there's of course the interesting instruments here with the RPMs being shown. The top speed, I have tried that out in Germany, of course, only, and that's 223 kilometers per hour. So it can go quite fast, and it can also move. What's also special about this car is that there's actually a panorama roof. You can see it when I open it up here, and actually it goes all the way down into the bottom of the car, and I actually like that, but sometimes you get disturbed by this sun and the sky, so you can of course close it again. Then there's the normal controlling gear here for the car. It's an automatic with 8 speed, as you can see here. I'm currently driving in comfort mode, and one thing that's special about Porsches is that they have a lot of buttons. It's just like sitting in an airplane. And yeah, if we take a look at the standard buttons that are in every Porsche, there's of course the tuner button for radio, there's the media for Bluetooth, USB and so on. Then you have the nav, or the navigation button for navigating. And then they have the special map where you just actually show what kind of where you are and what kind of map you have currently. So if you push the nav button, you will see that you can enter, in this case on German, what kind of road you want to navigate to. I won't go through all the other functions, you can look them up. So you have of course phone and car, where you can manage the car in some particular way and see how far you went, and set up some of the different assistants. So in my Audi S8 there's this anti-braking system, and there's automatic driving mode. This isn't available in this edition of the Porsche Cayenne, but you can of course get that also here. And then we have internet LTE band, that's the 4G, 5G band that is available in the car, so it picks up of course traffic on the road, and you can also set up a Wi-Fi network. Then there's this special thing over here, which it's actually showing the time currently, but it's also showing a compass that actually moves accordingly how you drive. So that's kind of special to me, because in the normal Porsches, the 911s, you have not a compass but a timer for timing your lapses when you're driving fast in the car. Then you have all these buttons here in the car. You have the air condition, of course. You have seat heat, and you have the way of managing how you are sitting in this car. But then down here you have the special thing about the Porsche Cayenne. This here is, of course, a four-wheel drive car, but you can of course also set it up in different modes. Currently I'm driving in Sport Plus mode. You can pick a button and then you drive in comfort mode. So it's as easy as that in order to change how you drive. Then over to the right you have this way of controlling how high the car is going, and you can of course do that when you want to go off-road, for example, or if you want to drive more economically, you can lower the car and lower thereby the wind that is going and pushing the car. So you can only set that up while the car is standing still, so therefore I cannot demonstrate it. And then you have this button over here to the left. That's a differential where you can actually lock the differential such that you can drive on roads that aren't there, off-road. And then down on the bottom you have this special sport button. So there's actually a couple of sport buttons here. You can see there's the Sport and the Sport Plus and the Comfort buttons. It's actually for the suspension. And the Sport button here is for optimizing the driving mode, such that it makes more RPMs before switching gears. Then you have this off button for actually not turning the engine off when you're standing still at a light. Then you have SRES for controlling how the car is gripping. And then you have this button in the middle. It shows a car with the roads. That's actually just a notification feature or warning feature that will try to monitor if you're driving between the lines on the road or whether you are not, and then it will actually give you a warning sign when you're doing that. So that's some of the features in this Porsche Cayenne. We have over here to the left automatic controlling of lights, and in the flashboard here you can see there's a digital way of showing the map. You can of course change that to different things. Currently it's on German, of course, but I think you get the idea. So one thing I had as a problem yesterday with the car, I just took it for a loan, was that there was no more oil on the car, and it showed me some kind of warning here. So now I'll just see whether I could check with the oil here. So here is a menu that you then can navigate to, and yeah, currently it says that there's no information regarding the oil, but as I filled this car up, I think it's okay now. So that's some of the things that you can show on this monitor here. And then of course you have the monitor over to the right, which is also a touch screen. And it has this thing that when you move your hand onto the screen, it will automatically detect it in some magic way, and then it will show you further menus. And then when you don't want to use the screen, it will clean up the screen and try to keep it more simple for you to just navigate with your car, and of course think about driving in your car. Then here over to the left you have some buttons for controlling the window, and you can flip in the mirrors. So that's actually quite useful things. Then of course it's a 4-seat, so you can also stay on the back seats with more persons. Actually yesterday my family was in here and we sat about 5 people, and there was quite a lot of space yet in this car. So then you have the hinter, the luggage compartment in the back, and that of course is not so big as I expected it to be in this big Porsche Cayenne, but there is room for for putting in all your stuff when you're going to a shop. So yeah, so I think that's a short demonstration of this Porsche Cayenne and how my things are going with that. So I think I'll also make a short 360-degree video of it for you just to see it. But that's currently my first review of a Porsche Cayenne, and also my first drive in this type of car. So my recommendation is that if you want a big car that drives good on the road and that you can have a lot of things in transport, and you also at the same time want to have some kind of luxury, so you have here leather seats, of course, and you have a very good way of sitting here, I would recommend you trying to get a look at this Porsche Cayenne. It's of course quite expensive. In Germany it's maybe about 100,000 euros or more, depending on the options that you choose. This here is the smallest edition of it, the 3.0 V6 diesel engine. You can of course get a gasoline V8 if you want that, for 500 or more horsepower, and that of course makes it more fun. But this here is perfectly good for Denmark or for driving between small cities in Germany. So it's a perfect driving engine that you have here. So therefore I would recommend it to anyone that wants this kind of options. So that's all for me for now. I'm Christian. Take a look at my YouTube channel, subscribe, and I'll of course submit more movies about all the exciting cars that are in the world today. So stay tuned and see you next time. Bye bye.